Hello and welcome to Career Right. I am Nishant and today I am going to teach you how to answer a question. How do you manage a heavy workload? Describe a time when your workload was heavy and how you handled it. Behavioral interview question enable recruiters to gain insight into the future actions by probing past behavioral traits. This is a question that is asked to both experienced professionals and recent college graduates looking to join a company. The hiring manager will ask you to describe a previous incident, including what caused the problem, how you handled it, and what happened as a result. The way you respond to the question will determine whether or not you are a good fit for the position for which you are being interviewed. Now, to answer this question, you must first comprehend the concept of a heavy workload. A high workload occurs when workload exceeds what can be completed in a given amount of time. Because of streamlining, challenging work culture, aggressive schedule, and consequence of overcommitment, the majority of people will face a significant workload at some point in their career. While juggling a demanding career is ideal, but it can also lead to stress and burnout. Now, there are a few things you need to keep in mind which will help you answer this question. And let us see what are they. You may be familiar with the STAR technique. It is the most commonly used technique for responding to any behavioral question. In this technique, you'd have to describe a situation, outline the task involved, and the actions taken by you, and the positive result you achieved. Make sure you emphasize on the result, what you achieved. Now let's have an example of a STAR technique. We received an unexpected order for our new product at ABC company. I met with the project manager, our supplier, and operations manager right away. With only slight adjustment, we were able to design a realistic plan that reduced our production cost, ensured material availability, and met the production deadline. Despite the fact that it was a time consuming and difficult process, the end result was a signed contract with a new customer who became a long term client. So, that was an example with situation, task, action, and result. Now, it's important to bring your skills. Take advantage of the opportunity to demonstrate your organizational multitasking, team building, and problem solving abilities. Alright, so let's see an example. While I was working at ABC company, one of my book's authors backed out due to personal reasons and was unable to finish the book. The abrupt withdrawal would cause the book's release to be delayed. But I immediately informed the book's editor, sought backup authors, as well as persuaded the editor to finish the book. Because he was with authors throughout, knew what topics were covered, what topics were not covered, and so on. The editor agreed, and as a result, he became a co author, and the publication date of the book was not pushed back. So, that was an example. I hope it will help you frame your own. Now, it's important to maintain a positive attitude. The employer is looking for someone who can handle a heavy workload effectively while not allowing the quality of work to suffer. He would ask you a question to see how you respond. So please don't react in a disruptive manner. You should highlight your contribution. When answering this question, the employer is more interested in learning about your plan of action or contribution. Explain how you came up with the strategy and how you worked with your teammates to respond to this question. This will assist you in highlighting your contribution. Now, there are a few things you need to avoid while answering this question. Ensure your response is not too dramatic. In any manner, don't suggest that the challenge of an unexpected workload has phased you out. Rather than going into detail about how complex the challenge was, just tell how you helped it solve quickly and effectively. Just give the solution more thought than the problem. Okay, so let's take an example. My previous employer informed me that a major client would be arriving in a few hours and that I needed to prepare a presentation. I quickly overcame my initial panic, took a deep breath, gathered my thoughts, and tried to figure out how to work on such short notice. I quickly took notes, obtained the necessary information from my teammates, and quickly set up the presentation. Now, don't blame or criticize others. When dealing with a heavy workload, you may have a tendency to speak negatively or to badmouth others. For example, your workload could be the result of a lazy colleague who did not take his work seriously. Now, blaming him won't help you. So, avoid the temptation to blame others and instead focus on your own abilities. Don't deny stress. Don't act as if a heavy workload doesn't bother you, because that's not true. Instead, explain how stress challenges and teaches you many lessons. You can also describe how effectively you manage your time, prioritize your tasks, and remain focused. Now, never show up for an interview unprepared. Research about the company, investigate company's culture and working environment. This will give you an idea of how work is done in this company, such as whether it is traditional or fast paced. This will enable you to determine whether or not you are a good fit for the company. Alright, so let's have an example for an experienced professional. During my career, I had to deal with a heavy workload. I would investigate the situation, get more information and details to get a clear idea. I would not dive in and try to do everything. And I have discovered that prioritizing the task at hand is the best way to proceed. While it may appear that everything is urgent, but this is not always the case. So I would prioritize the projects that require immediate attention and communicate with my team and boss to ensure that we are all on the same page. Following that, you can discuss the situation you faced, the task you completed, the actions you took, and the outcome you achieved. Now let's have an example for a fresher. As a project coordinator, I would prioritize my work based on what is expected of me. I would organize my work in such a way that it reflects my top priorities, such as keeping the project manager and team members informed about the project. Following my urgent task, I move on to important organizational tasks, such as creating topic outlines for our monthly team meetings. While I prioritize my work in this way, I leave room for changes in priorities while maintaining a healthy work balance. Now, while responding to this question about a heavy workload, keep the STAR method in mind. Use your response to this question to highlight desirable job skills that have helped you deal with difficult workload in the past. Make an effort to exhibit a strong work ethic and a positive attitude. Avoid playing blame game. Instead, show your enthusiasm, willingness, and ability to deal with the critical workplace problems. And that's all for now. If you have any question, please write in the comment box below. I'll get back to you. Thank you and see you next time.